One of the striking things about the story, Sonny's Blues, which is, as you know, it's a longer story, but it's worth paying attention to its structure and how that story is organized. It's a first person narration, and the narrator is Sonny's brother. So Sonny's brother is telling the story about Sonny. Um, the story is in its present moment is Sonny's brother um, learning. It opens with Sonny's brother learning something about Sonny, who has been a soldier, has returned, is a musician, but he's going through a crisis. The story then goes into flashback, and it goes into memories, and it goes to layers of memory of the relationship between Sonny and his brother, and then it goes further back and creates a parallel situation in the relationship between their father and his brother in that really remarkable sequence in which their uncle, their father's brother, is murdered, is attacked and murdered by white men in the South. And this is going back into the past, and it's a moment when they both have a record understanding from their mother, something about their father and their father's antipathy and really his abject distaste, impatience, and frankly, anger at white people and his complete mistrust for them. And he doesn't trust them because of the way that his brother was killed for not doing anything. They were just attacked by these men. And his brother, who was a beautiful musician and a wonderful man, was killed, and he witnessed that. And he left the South and was consistently clear that he could not and should not, nobody should trust white people, especially black people. And there is that, but nobody says that that either Sonny or his brother share that view, although they it helps us to understand some of the things that they are going through. Now, one of the fascinating thing about the story is that really there's not much in the story apart from that moment that shows an encounter between blacks and whites. In fact, what we see is them living in New York, in Harlem, among black people, living their lives. Sonny's dealing with his drug issues, Sonny's dealing with his music, and so on. So there's a sense in which the story is taking place as if it is not in direct confrontation with white supremacy or white patriarchy and so on. But I think Baldwin includes that scenario as a way to bring us into an understanding of the context in which this family is working out its life. And then it reaches a point where it comes back to the present moment. And in that present moment, these two come back together after a period of alienation from each other. And there's that fantastic moment where they start talking about, which we're going to speak to in more detail, about music and about ambition and about what people want to do with their lives, these two brothers. And ends in the club scene. And the club scene again is a completely beautiful description of a jazz musician at work. And yet, it is also an articulation of the ways in which the sublimation of art become a way for them to find healing in their family, in their relationship, and in the understanding of themselves. And there's that wonderful image of the cup of trembling from the book of Isaiah that ends the piece. Where the brother passes on to his, Sonny's brother passes on to Sonny a cup of a drink as a kind of libation and a kind of connection. So structurally, it's a very interesting piece, and I think one of the things to keep in mind is that Baldwin was experimenting with the form, but he's also trying to create a situation in which the scenarios that unfold in the work begin to unfold with each other. There are pivotal moments in the work that mark it all the way throughout. And one of the questions I do ask is, how do we understand what Baldwin does with each of these pivotal moments, whether it's the moment when the brother discovers that Sonny is dealing with his drugs, whether it's the moment when they separate from each other at the birth of and the death of the brother's child, whether it's the incident that I described with the father and his brother paralleling Sonny and his brother, and then whether it's the moment when they have this argument about Sonny's ambitions, music, and so on, and they have a debate about it, and again, it creates a movement for them where they feel their separation taking place, and then finally, there's that moment in the club where Sonny's playing and his brother witnesses his playing, and in the process of watching the playing, something happens to both of them in terms of their understanding of who they are, in terms of their understanding of self, and in terms of their understanding of what their life has become or will become. Um, Very interesting movement, very interesting structure of the work, and I want us to pay attention to those pivotal moments and the way they advance the story, and why Baldwin uses those moments to advance the story and the plot of the story.